Good afternoon, Facebook. It's Rob from Echo Front Properties, and we're back again this afternoon with another local business. It's very important nowadays that we support our local businesses, and we got a special business for you guys today. It's coming on those hot summer months, those sticky, miserable months, and one thing you don't want is a broken AC. I had it last year. I had an issue with my air conditioner, it broke down, and I went 2 days without air conditioning, and it was probably one of the most awful things ever. So I'm going to show you guys. We're joined by Chris Burke. He's our real estate agent with Echo Fine Properties. Give a wave, Chris.
Howdy.
Looks a little like Will Ferrell, right?
You know it.
And Christopher Meade. He's the owner of C&J Air Conditioning Incorporated in Palm Beach Gardens. Hey, Christopher, give me a wave.
Hi.
There he is. So I'm going to send it over to Chris Burke right now. Hey, Chris, let's find out exactly about Christopher's business.
You got it. Christopher, how are you?
Good. How are you today?
Good, thanks. So I've known you, gosh, when I moved down here in 2010, I got to know you pretty quickly. And always, you've just been a great guy. And ironically, Rob, you were talking about air conditionings. That's exactly what happened to me last summer. And I got to tell you what, I called this guy probably at 10 in the morning, and he was over there diagnosing the situation by, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And come to find out, I was in a world of hurt with the unit, and he replaced it 2 days later, and flawless since. So that being said, the guy is reliable, great guy, honest. That's my favorite thing about him. He's honest. But Christopher, tell me a little bit how you got into this business, how you ended up in Palm Beach Gardens, and tell me the areas that you cover. What territory, how far north and south do you go along 95?
Actually, I started in air conditioning. Probably the best thing my mom ever did to me. I started in air conditioning while I was still in high school, and I went to a trade school while I was still in high school, after school. And so it's a great thing. I've been in it a long time. And originally that was Long Island, New York. And I moved down here with my dad in early 80s, 82. And you know, what a better place no better place to move if you're in the air conditioning business. And my customers put me in business. You know, I moved to Orlando. I got involved with another air conditioning contractor who I was working for, and before you know it, things weren't going well with us. And you know, the customers weren't happy with him; they were happy with me. And so I was forced to go get my contractor's license. And the next thing you know, I was self-employed. Didn't really even push it. You know, I didn't plan it or anything. It's just the way things worked. So God had a different plan than I did. And I appreciate you having me on, Rob, and appreciate you inviting me. Chris, I've known for a while, as he said, and I also appreciate when you refer me to, you know, some of your real estate customers, and I'm glad to help out. And I you know, I love helping people. I'm in a service business, and you know, the reason I'm in business is to provide a quality service to my customer, and I try not to lose focus of that. And you know, tell the truth and you know, do the right thing, and you know, you never seem to lack for business. So that's what I do, and that's kind of what I live by.
Christopher, let me ask you this: how far north will you go for service? You go up to Martin County at all, or will you not really?
I can, you know, I mean, I can travel as, you know, as far. It depends on the size of the job. If someone's replacing equipment, naturally, I don't have any problem traveling. But kind of the green thing is, you know, the closer I stay within the radius of I have a home office, which actually is being remodeled right now, as you might see. I mean, you know, this time with everything going on, it's a great time to restock trucks, remodel offices and stuff like that, and you know, regroup geared up for when it does get warm and people do have a demand. But most people who are staying home are not going to do without air conditioning. So you know, I never thought I was essential before, but it's nice to know that I am.
You are essential for sure. Christopher, how many guys generally are under the roof with you? How many guys usually have on your team?
I've got 5 guys that work for me, and they all want to work for me, which is a great thing. You know, I try to provide a work environment that they want to work for me. They want to show up. They want to do a good job because you know, there's incentives there. You know, I take really good care of people who work for me, and in return, they take care of me. I have the 5 guys that work for me. They're very polite, they clean. I constantly get compliments from customers about them. So
I'll tell you what, I'm going to piggyback on that because, as you alluded to earlier, I've referred you to numerous clients of mine, and every single one of them has nothing but accolades of great stuff. And I'll share a story with you that just happened. I had a recent client in Jonathan's Landing, and Christopher came over and spent an hour with the guy, and we thought we needed something, and it really didn't. And my client went and got his checkbook, and Christopher said, there's no charge for that. That's on me. He says, but if you ever need help down the road, you know, please just keep me in mind. That's the kind of guy he is. You know, he's not out to gouge anybody. He's here to, like he said, I'm here to help people, service them, and be honest. And my client couldn't have been happier. It was just a really cool.
To piggyback on that, you know, a lot of people in the real estate business, they'll have a home inspection, and a home inspector is kind of, he has to know too many trades. He can't possibly know every single trade out there. They're great for framing inspections and stuff like that, termites and stuff. But a lot of them don't really know air conditioning. So I go to a lot of houses that have had a home inspection, and there's really not anything wrong with the house. And that's what happened there. And I said, you don't have a problem. To the gentleman, Mr. Baker. I remember the one you were talking about.
Good memory.
He actually he sent me a thank you card, which made my day. You know. But you know, if you don't have a legitimate problem, I don't want to. You know, I'm not trying to take from anybody, and I don't want to waste anybody's time. And you know, so I just tell them, look, you call me when you have a real problem. You know, and
you're a rare breed.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you are.
But I'm very, very thankful that I had a father who instilled great values.
Yes,
So
that's great.
You know, I see a lot of people who have contracts with other companies, and they supposedly come out twice a year, and some people really like that done, but it's not really a thing that has to be done. For the most part, the machines today, they don't really have anything that needs to be oiled. The only thing that really happens in Florida, from my experience, is the condensate lines, and you know, people can take care of a lot of that stuff themselves just by keeping the unit clean, keeping the filter clean, and keeping the weeds and the bushes from growing up around the unit outside.
Is
that the most important thing, Christopher? If for someone to take care of their outside machine is clear of debris, etc.
Yeah, bugs and plants and all that stuff. If you don't have growth around it, you're not going to get the critters around it. And the filter's critical. You know, the more you change your air filter, the cleaner your air in your house is. And they also, now with everything going on with the coronavirus and all that stuff, there's also filtration systems that can be put in that will help clean your air even more. Myself at my house, I use a simple pleated filter, and what I do is I bring it outside before I put it in, and I coat one side of it, the side that the air's being sucked in through, with like a Lysol or a Febreze or any kind of anything that's going to make that surface a little bit more tacky. And then before I put it up in there, and that's why when you do the white glove treatment on your countertops, you're not going to see as much. And if you change that every 3 weeks, a month, whatever, depending upon your house, the house is going to be cleaner.
That's a great.
You're going to get more longevity out of your machine too.
Absolutely. The cleaner it is, and that line's not going to plug up and all that other stuff. Yeah.
That's a great tip. I didn't think of the Lysol thing at all. That's awesome. The question then is, that's my always question. How often should I change my filter? I mean, I know every house is probably different. I don't have such a big house, but I have pets, and I always see the pet hair in the filter when I pull it out. How often do you think you should change your filter?
Yeah, the more bodies and the more animals you have, then you're going to see more dust. Most dust, a lot of times, it's dander. It sounds a little gross, but it's skin, dried skin or dust. That's what dust is a lot of times. And it depends on the area you live in, if the door's open in a lot, but if you have several animals or several people in your house, it's going to make it, each house is going to be individual to that, to the person. If you change it once a month and it's spotless clean, then probably don't need to do it. But, if you change it, and it's very dirty, then you need to jump to maybe every 2 weeks. But I tell most of my customers, change your filter, especially when I put a new unit in. Just as a reminder, I kind of do it as a tickler for their mind, is every time you make your mortgage payment or every time you make your rent payment, think about your air conditioning filter.
And I have,
Let me ask you another question, Christopher. So I go to Home Depot and I'm going to buy a box of filters. Box A for 12 filters is $65. Box B is $140.
Yeah.
Is there a big difference in the quality of a filter, or is a filter a filter?
It's kind of there's some differences, I'd have to see each one, but for the most part, what the best thing that you need, or the best thing that out there, I think, is just a simple pleated filter. And then if you coat one side of it with Lysol or Febreze or whatever your favorite scent is on there, it's going to catch more. And there are, you can find inexpensive. I know Natural Air is one that's an inexpensive filter, and it's pleated. And the more you change it, you don't have to use the expensive ones. And some people go out and they buy a $20 washable, $40 washable thing that they got to put in there, and you'll never really get the washable filter completely clean. Some of them are too restrictive. I believe in the old cardboard thing. Throw it away. And you can also go from the 1-inch cardboard thing. You'd have to have myself or another air conditioning contractor install an apparatus in there, so you can put the HEPA filters in, which are 3 and 4 inches thick, and they'll really catch some. It's the same thing. It's a pleat, but it's going to catch more per cubic inch. It's going to catch more dust.
And are those 3 times as expensive as a regular one?
They're more expensive, but you don't have to change those as often. They're going to.
Oh, I see.
They're going to last longer. They're more allergenic type thing if someone has those kind of issues.
I see. Yeah.
One other question I had was, you have your, I guess it's called the handler, right? Is that the part that's inside the house or outside of the house?
That's where the filter goes in, the handler, right?
But,
inside.
But on the other side there, and this is my question. So I've been told you can pour a little vinegar down the thing to let it drain out. Somebody said not to use bleach. Some people said use bleach. Some people said, what should you use? Warm water, to clear out that flush line, I guess. What's the best case?
I have a trick, the things that I carry in my truck. I do use a bleach. I use the Clorox thing that you run in a toilet bowl around the rim, because it's got that little spout. So you can open it and close it without making a mess, and it's a thicker bleach. It's that spill-proof, splash-proof bleach, and so I use the Lysol bleach toilet bowl thing that has the spout. It's actually been the best thing. Other than that, you can, I use a chemical when I service somebody's unit. But for a homeowner, that's kind of an ideal thing.
So for a homeowner watching this broadcast, what else? What other services you offer? I know we're talking about AC, but just to go through the list of services that you do offer.
I may mostly stick to just air conditioning service replacement and equipment replacement. The duct cleaning thing, I don't really do that. If you change the filter and keep it clean, as I said, you're not going to get any dirt in your ductwork. So, and as we talked earlier, before we went on here, that, a lot of systems in Florida, they don't have a very high life expectancy because of the salt water, salt air. The other thing you can do is hose down the unit outside. You can shut the power off. And, sometimes contractors install those right in front of a dryer vent. I've seen that happen before. And you can keep the unit outside cleaned off with just a garden hose, as long as you shut the power off when you're doing that, and try to run some water down the coil in the same direction that the coil is flowing, not when the unit's running. Obviously, power off, avoid electrical panels. Just I'll put that on, preface that on here, so that somebody doesn't call me and say, hey, I used the garden hose on my unit. I blew up and my kid's electrocuted.
Funny.
So if people are interested again in getting in touch with you, maybe they need a new AC, maybe their AC is about to go. Will you come out and check it out and give them a quote? And what do you do with that? Can you give them?
Absolutely. If someone wanted to replace their unit, it's a free estimate. And for the most part, if your unit is 10, 15 years old, 10, 12, 13, your power bill's probably higher, or if your power bill's higher, the new equipment on the market now is much more efficient, just like the phones get better and everything gets better as time goes by. Now the units are more high efficiency units. You don't have to buy the real it's very expensive ones. You can buy something in the middle of the road and still save, 25 to 30% on your power bill just by replacing the unit.
And how can they get in touch with you if they want to reach out and, in touch
Well,
with
you can find me on Google at, C&J Air Conditioning, or, if you're anywhere near me, you can put air conditioning repair Palm Beach Gardens. And I usually come up on air conditioning repair Palm Beach Gardens. And most of my, customers, I ask them to actually write a review for me. And so there's a lot of those reviews on there. And, I haven't had, most of the people that I see, or most of the people that I replace their unit, I usually, next time I see them, it's 5, 6 years later, and I see them at Home Depot or Publix,
And I think that's what counts right there, Chris and Chris Burke. Correct me if I'm wrong. You said it before. He's a local guy. He's not going to rip you off because guess what? He's got to live in the community. So he rips Chris Burke off. Chris Burke's coming to look for you, man. He's coming to hunt you down.
Yeah, I'm going to see you at Home Depot or Planet Fitness or Publix or somewhere.
Sure.
Christopher, do you have a cell number, Christopher, a business number that people can use to call you?
Yeah, everything goes through my cell phone that I have in my hand at all times, which is a 561. It's on the web. The Google ad is 561-255-2145.
Awesome.
So, if I don't answer the phone, I let it go to voicemail, and I usually return somebody's phone call within the hour at max. If somebody needs to speak to me right away, they can always shoot me a text. And, then because I have so many phone numbers, so many calls that come in, I don't save everybody's number. And because we live in Florida, a lot of times, a lot of those solicitation phone calls are area codes that I don't recognize. And so are some of the customers, because we have a lot of people who here from other states. So, I can't pick up the phone at all times, but I get back to people pretty quickly.
Cool. Awesome.
And I guess one of the most important questions. You say you're originally from Long Island, did you say? So you say
Yeah.
So is that a Mets or a Yankees fan?
I was probably a Mets fan back then, but I moved here when I was when I was 20, I think. It was Florida or bust, or I'm not sure. It could have been Florida because I'm busted. one or the other. I came to stay with Dad,
Yeah, very good. Well, again, thank Chris Burke. First of all, thanks for setting this up. And Christopher, thanks again. Another local business who, they're in our community and they need our support right now. So reach out to Chris. Chris, give that number again, Christopher. What's the number to your place?
No, thanks, Rob, and thanks, Chris. I appreciate you guys having me on here. Yeah. And my number is 561-255-2145.
So again, if anyone needs help with their AC, they got some issues, give Christopher a call, and Chris Burke down there, so you can see him in the bottom of the screen. If you got any real estate needs, give Chris Burke a call, and support the local businesses like Christopher's business, C&J Air Conditioning Incorporated, Palm Beach Gardens. Thanks everybody for joining. If there's any other local businesses out there that would like, something like this to profile their business, don't hesitate to reach out. It's rob@echofineproperties.com. And that's it, guys. Good afternoon, and or have a good afternoon, and we'll see you later.
Thanks
so much, Rob. Thank you so much, Chris.